So I'll start out by introducing myself. So my name is Liz. I'm a senior program manager at CEGO, Center for Global and Online Education. Um, I manage the product management portfolio for Stanford Online. So excited to talk to you all today about what we have in the professional education um, and for product management offerings.
And my name is Pax Haymeyer. I'm the Director of Academic Programs here at CEGO and Stanford Online. If you heard Liz hesitate, that's because our name has just changed. So if you have been with us before and you heard SCPD, we are now CEGO, the Stanford Engineering Center for Global and Online Education. And I'm going to provide more detail about the credit-bearing opportunities you have to study product management here at Stanford Online. But before we get started, before we get started going into the details, I wanted to give everyone a high-level overview of everything that's available, all the learning experiences that are available through Stanford Online and the different kinds. And then Liz and I will go into more detail on some of these. So depending on your level of experience, depending on your learning goals, and depending on your level of commitment, we really have a lot of different things that you can consider. So we do have a fair amount of free content. This informational session is one example of it, but Liz and I both run, and lots of our colleagues run, webinars with faculty and instructors on a variety of content, but on product management specifically. And you can find those on our website. You can also find those on the Stanford Online YouTube channel. We also have some written content that you can find on our Stanford Online. So some of these have been written by the faculty and instructors we work with. Some of these have been prepared based on our course content. And so these are a really wonderful opportunity if you're just trying to explore the space, if you want to familiarize yourself with some of the instructors that we have that teach our classes, to get a sense of their style, how they approach this content. Really a wonderful opportunity and resource for you to go take a look at. And I'll also mention we have one program preview, and that is just for the product management professional program. And Liz will go into more detail there. So that's an opportunity for you to get a sense of what the course experience is like. Again, the content is specific to the product management program, professional program. But again, that's free, and that's another wonderful opportunity for you to get a sense of what our other learning experiences are like. The other thing I will say is that some of the instructors for that program, so specifically Anand and JZ, whom you will hear probably us mentioned throughout, they also teach the credit-bearing class. So it's also an opportunity for you to get a sense of what their dynamic is and how they approach the content. So in addition to the free content, we have the professional programs. And again, there are a variety of ways to learn this content, a variety of levels of experience. So, advanced and more entry-level content. So depending on what you want, there's a lot there. Liz is going to go over all of those different learning modalities and the different levels of content. And finally, there is also a course, a credit-bearing course that happens on campus that is extended to online learners that you also have an opportunity to take. It is, sometimes we have it several quarters a year. It's only being offered this winter. Enrollment is open right now. Enrollment will close December 8th. But if you're interested in that, I'll be providing more detail later in the session. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Liz to talk about the professional programs.
Sure, thanks for that, Pax. So we'll start out focusing on the professional education program. So we have two programs within this broader topic of product management. So the first is our product management program, which is targeted towards people who are either new to the field of product management, so people who are early in their careers, people interested in becoming PMs, or people in other roles like product marketers, software engineers, et cetera, who are interested in learning more about the different frameworks within PM. And the second is our advanced product management program. So this just launched this fall. This program is geared towards people who already have working experience as PMs and are looking to level up in their careers. So the courses in this program would cover skills that you need to become, like product leaders, chief product officers, or even like entrepreneurs, basically like all the career opportunities available to mid-career PMs. So I'll talk about this a little more shortly when I talk about the PM program, but we also have different modalities of learning. So the self-paced and instructor-paced program modalities. So self-paced means you can sign up at your own convenience and complete the courses at your own pace. So, you could complete a course in a single day or stretch it out over the course of 60 days. Upon completing that course, you receive a record of completion, You can also pursue the full program credential, in which that case, the all access plan would be a better option since it gives you access to all the courses. And if you opt for the all access plan, you can complete the courses over the course of a year. So currently the advanced product management is only offered through these self-paced options. But within the PM program, we also have the accelerated program, which is instructor-paced. So it's the same lectures as the ones in the self-paced courses, packaged into a 10-week-long program. So you work with a group to complete your assignments and ultimately present a capstone. And there's also additional support offered through a team of experienced PMs who coach you throughout the program. And I'll talk about that a little more shortly. But first, PM program. So diving deeper into the self-paced program. So here you'll see the list of all the courses within the self-paced program. So first we have the program preview. Pax had mentioned this. So the program preview is really intended to give you just a taste of what the courses are like and for you to see how the interface of the platform looks like, and get a sample of the types of lectures offered, what types of exercise would you typically do in a course. So it's just a sample to give you a taste of what the courses are like before you go ahead and make that purchase. And we also have the remaining 6 courses. So you'll see our 2 required courses, the product management, transforming opportunities into great products, mastering product management, building your strategy. So to earn the full credential for the product management program, you would need to complete both of these courses. And then you would choose 2 of these remaining 4 elective courses. So we've built these courses based on what we think early career PMs need to know to succeed. But there's also a lot of flexibility for you to pick and choose which electives are most appealing to you and maybe more relevant for where you are in your product management journey. And a quick overview of how the self-paced courses are structured. So there are no prerequisites, so you do not need to know anything about product management to take these courses, and there are no particular technical skills you need to have to take these courses. They're really geared towards early career product managers. So if if you've already launched product features or even an entire product, the content may be a little more of a review for you. The courses are composed of recorded lectures to Stanford faculty with faculty and instructors, and they also include written exercises and a multiple choice final assessment. So at the end of each course, there's a final assessment comprised of 20 multiple choice questions. So to earn your credential for that course, you would need to pass with a score of at least 85%. But you do have the option to retake that final exam if you do not pass the first time. You also have support from course facilitators via email. So within the course interface, there's an option to ask for help. So if while you're doing exercise, you have additional questions, you can use that option to get help and support from our course facilitators. And lastly, even if you know for sure this is the program, this is the course for me, I'd still encourage you to enroll in the program preview, just so you can get, again, it's just to confirm whether these courses are right for you before you have to make any financial commitments. Okay, and now a little preview of what you see in the course. So like I said, the courses are comprised of lectures and then the different exercises. So this is kind of what the lecture interface looks like. You have the lectures on the left with the captions, and on the right, you have the option to toggle between the slides, the transcript, and any notes that you may want to take. And all the modules within the course are broken up into different lecture segments just to make the content more digestible for you. We also have this is a sample of one of the exercises you would do in the course. So there's a mix of multiple choice questions and written assignments like this one that are more open-ended. And now moving on to the accelerated program. So this program takes content from those 6 product management courses I had shown you earlier, but are also like on the edges of the screen, and distills them into a single 10-week long program. So all the videos and lectures you watch from in this program, the accelerated program, are sourced from these 6 courses, and many of the assignments you do in the accelerated program are also adapted from exercises in these 6 courses. A quick overview of the structure of the accelerated program. So like the self-paced courses, there are no formal prerequisites, but we do expect you to be eager to engage with your peers. Since this is a time-bound course and you are working with other people, we do have a stronger expectation that you're like willing to engage with the materials and you'll be more on top of deadlines. So it's less flexible than the self-paced program. Again, this program is geared towards early career product managers. So really intended to like take you through the journey of creating a product or a feature from like scratch, from the beginning all the way to actually launching it. It's the same lectures as the self-paced courses, so just a different flow and packaged in a way that makes sense for the 10-week long sequence. And then one key distinction from the self-paced program is the support you get. So during the program, we have weekly coaching sessions where the coaches, who are all experienced PMs, walk through different exercises with you, largely mirroring what you do in the assignments with your group. Covering whatever was covered, touching again on concepts covered in the lecture videos and things you can expect in your assignments. We also feature live sessions with different guest speakers who dive deeper into different topics related to product management. With your assignments, you get a lot of personalized feedback. And lastly, you have a Slack community with everybody else who's enrolled in this program at the same time. So you can communicate with the coaches, your peers, people in your group, and just anyone enrolled in the program at that time. So as I said earlier, access to coaches is one of the key differentiators from the self-paced program. So the coaches are really there to support you throughout the program. So they do this through the weekly coaching sessions, Slack and email support, and then on-demand office hours, depending on your group's needs. We offer 2 coaching sessions every week. So Wednesdays at 5 p.m. and Thursdays at 9 a.m. This is just to try to accommodate learners in different time zones in their schedules. Both sessions cover the same content. They just may be led by different coaches who may have a different way of delivering the material. So if you're not available to attend one session live, you can always attend the other. And if you're not able to attend either, they're always recorded, and we share those recordings over Slack, and we upload them into the course page too. The other key differentiator is the peer-to-peer interaction within the program. So this mostly happens through working with your group. So the capstone is a group project that takes you through the product lifecycle, and you work with this group starting in week 1 all the way through week 10. So product managers rarely work individually. So we strongly believe a group project like this better prepares people for careers in product management. People are assigned into groups based off of responses in their pre-course survey. So in the survey, you have the option to list out different preferences, like, maybe you want to work with people in similar industries or people in the same geographic location. And we do our best to try and match people based off of these preferences. Though, caveat, we can't guarantee that we can accommodate all of them. And just like a sample of a typical week in the course. So this is week 2. So you'll see we have the assigned lecture content for that week is all on user research and rapid experimentation. The live sessions that week, so the coaching session focuses on user research. And there's a live session on need fighting for product managers with Julie Stanford, who teaches the user research course, the self-paced course. That week. And then that week, your exercise assignment is to actually make a research plan. So that's just a typical week in the course. And this is also a sample schedule of like the different live events. So for the cohort that's actually running right now, like I said, the coaching sessions are Wednesdays at 5 p.m. and Thursdays at 9 a.m. They have their capstone presentations next week. And then guest speaker sessions. So we typically have 4 different guest speaker sessions per cohort. For this cohort that's currently going on right now, we had one on AI for product managers with Aditya Chalapalli, product strategy with Donna Novitsky and Lauren Marino, a Q&A with Jay-Z, and then a session on usability research with Julie Stanford. So these may change from cohort to cohort, but that's just a sample of the types of speakers you can hear from and what you can expect. Okay, before I move on to the advanced program, I'm just gonna look at the questions quickly. Okay, so we have a few questions about the program preview. So if you go to, you'll receive a link after the webinar, but you can enroll in the program preview on Stanford, on online.stanford.edu. And if you search for product management program preview, you'll need to create an account on My Stanford Connection. But the preview is free and should be as simple as clicking on a button. Similarly, to sign up for any of the professional education PM courses, you would need to just click on the sign up button to register and enroll. Yeah, so I will now move on to advanced product management. Okay. So the advanced product management, I think I mentioned this earlier, this is a new program that we just launched earlier in the fall. So this program is geared towards people who already have PM experience and are trying to advance in their careers. So I would say there isn't a lot of overlap between the product management program I was just speaking about and the advanced product management program. So these courses are intended to cover the skills you need to progress as PMs to move on to your careers to become, like product leaders, head of products. Currently, the program has 4 courses. So driving product strategy through growth and change, leading product organizations and beyond, mastering generative AI for product innovation, and getting buy-in for your ideas. So when you compare these to the ones in the PM program, they start to get at like bigger picture things like strategy for your entire company, leading entire teams, innovation and communication, which is an essential product management skill that you can always continue to improve. Of these courses, so leading product organizations and beyond course is not live yet, so it will be available starting March 2025. Course structure, so similarly to the PM courses, there are no formal prerequisites, but again, this content is really geared towards people like mid-career PMs, so may not be as relevant for people earlier in their careers. Like the other self-paced courses, the courses are composed of recorded lectures of Stanford instructors and faculty, and they include written exercises and the multiple choice final assessment, which again, you would need to score at least 85% to earn the credential. And you can take the exam multiple times. And if you have questions while you're going through the course, you can email the course facilitators through the course page. Sorry, I clicked do fast again. And again, just wanted to give you a sample of like what the lectures look like. And so this is a sample of what the lecture interface looks like for the product strategy course. So you'll see Laura Marino, who's an instructor for this course, on the left with the captions. Again, you can toggle between the slides and the transcript. And here's a sample of like one of the written assignments in that course. So the sorts of things you would be asked to do and think about. And now I'll hand things off to Pax.
Great, thanks, Liz. And there was a question about certification, and I'd encourage everyone, so we have links at the bottom of your panel that will take you to some of these programs. You can take it there. We have more information about the specific certification and the standards there. So we have on our website a whole kind of page dedicated to explaining the different levels of certification and what the rigor is that's associated with each one. What I'm going to talk about now are the credit-bearing courses. So these are courses that you can take through Stanford Online that are happening on campus and that you would earn a Stanford transcript for. So before I go into detail about the particular product management course that's available this winter quarter for enrollment, I do want to take a step back and walk through the larger opportunity, which is that each year we offer about 200 mostly engineering courses through Stanford Online. So these are, again, courses that are happening on campus and that we extend to online learners who take the courses alongside the on-campus learners. Right? So there are 200 of these classes. It's about 50 to 60, a quarter, fewer in the summer, more during the regular academic year. And they happen on a quarterly cadence, right? So there's the fall courses, the winter courses, the spring courses. You are required to do all the same work that on-campus students are doing. It is the same course. You are enrolled alongside the on-campus students. I say that because it's both an opportunity and a challenge. It's an opportunity because it is a really rare opportunity to take credit-bearing courses at Stanford without having to be admitted into a degree program at the school. And I'll go over what our approval process is and how you apply for the individual courses. It is also a challenge, of course, because you are taking a class that's happening on campus as an online learner, alongside those on-campus students. So you may be in New York and you can't just turn to the learner next to you in the classroom and ask a question. So there are some of those additional challenges, and I'll go into a little bit more detail about what the course experience for the product management course is. But we recognize that, but it is a pretty amazing opportunity. You don't need to be continuously enrolled in courses. So any quarter that a course you're interested in is offered, you can apply to take that course. So you have opportunities, and you don't have to be continuously enrolled. So again, if you take a course this winter, maybe you take this product management course this winter, you really like it, and then you think about, hey, maybe this summer I want to take a course too. I'm going to be too busy in the spring to take a course. Well, that's no problem. Then in the summer, you find the course, you enroll and apply to enroll in that course. You do need, in order to keep taking courses, you do need to meet a minimum standard, which is B or better to keep taking classes. And so basically, and I'll go over the application again in more detail at the end here, but you apply once, we keep that application on file. Then every time you request to enroll in a course, we send your application again to a department along with your Stanford transcript. They review it, and you're approved on a course-by-course basis. They're going to make sure, do you meet the prerequisites for this course? Have you been doing well in the previous courses? But it's a pretty unique opportunity. And again, product management, is a graduate level course with fewer prerequisites, but we also have things like advanced computer science, advanced electrical engineering, chemical engineering classes. So I'd encourage you to take a look at the full catalog. Maybe you're a product manager right now, maybe you're a technical product manager, and so maybe you're interested not just in product management, but brushing up on some of your engineering skills. The other thing I'll say about this is you can stack these courses to earn graduate certificates. So if you get approved and you complete 3 or 4 courses and you do well enough in them, you can apply those towards one of the 30 graduate certificates that we offer. And the product management course is part of 3 graduate certificates. So if you did well in the course and you were approved to take additional courses and you did well in them, you could earn a graduate certificate. These are accredited certificates, and again, you would have a Stanford transcript to show you took these courses. So let me, and finally, the last thing I'll add is if you were to be admitted into a master's program at Stanford, you could apply up to 18 of the units that you earned as a non-degree student, which is what we call it when you're taking these on a course-by-course basis. You could apply up to 18 of those units towards a relevant master's degree. Okay, let's see here. Let me just put these all out here and I'll walk through them. So what does this particular course look like? So the Product Management Fundamentals for the Real Economy is a course that happens winter quarter. It's taught by Anand and Jay-Z, who also are the instructors who help create the content for some of our product management courses, professional courses. Like those programs, it is geared towards early career product managers or someone who's interested in learning more about product management. Remember, a lot of the students who will be in the course alongside you are advanced undergraduates or early graduate students at Stanford. And so It's taught by a non-JZ. They are industry professionals. They have many years of experience as product managers in a lot of companies here in the Bay Area. And they run a weekly lectures, 3-hour lecture. It'll be happening on Thursdays this winter quarter. And winter quarter starts January 6th. So it happens on Thursdays at 4:30 in the evening. You are able to join those sessions over Zoom, so you can participate real time. I say that because it's not true of all the online courses that we offer, but in this case, you can participate in the weekly lectures live. They're also recorded if you can't join them live, though some participation is required. The core of the program, now, so those weekly lectures include presentations, some coursework, some panels, guest speakers. So there's a lot that happens in those weekly lecture sessions in addition to Anand and Jay-Z sort of lecturing on the core content. The core of the class itself is this quarter-long project, and it is basically taking you through one full iteration of the product lifecycle. So Anand and Jay-Z set that up. They walk you through those different milestones as part of that product lifecycle cycle, and then you're submitting the project along the way for review. You're revising it, and you're submitting the final kind of product lifecycle document at the end for evaluation. The course itself is 10 weeks long, and most students report spending 10 to 15 hours per week on the course. So it's a pretty intensive program. Again, 10 weeks. There's a lot of commitment. But again, it's very valuable if your learning goals are something where you really need that cohort, you need fellow students, you want the weekly interaction, the weekly sessions, the weekly assignments. It's a wonderful opportunity. So what does it take to apply for this class or similar classes at Stanford Online? So you do need to create an account with us at Stanford Online. You would need to do that if you want to do the professional programs as well. Then there's an application called the non-degree option application. And that's one application that you would fill out if you were interested in any of the credit-bearing courses that we offer. In that, you submit a statement of purpose that walks through what your learning goals are, and it also gives you an opportunity to explain a little bit more about your background and how you're qualified to take some of these classes. We do need some personal information, your residency status. We ask for your professional experience, and then we also ask for your educational background, and we do need your official transcripts. So the prerequisite for any of these courses is a conferred bachelor's degree. Then once your application is on file, it's not reviewed until you enroll in a course. Once you enroll in a course, we would send it to the relevant department for review, and they would approve you for that course. Say you take this product management course this quarter, you enroll, we'll send it to the Civil and Environmental Engineering program. That's department, that's where this course is housed. They will review it. You're approved. Let's say next fall, you're interested in taking a different course. We would take your application, which would still be on file, along with your Stanford transcript, because you'll have taken a course at Stanford. We'd send that to the, maybe it's the computer science department. We'd send that to the computer science department. They will review your application along with your Stanford transcript and what course you're interested in applying, and they will approve, they will review your application for approval for that course. So it's a course-by-course approval. And I say that, and I say that because Liz has talked about the prerequisites for her courses. So this particular course has just a prerequisite of a 3.0 undergraduate GPA, so a conferred bachelor's degree with a 3.0 undergraduate GPA. Other courses have much higher prerequisites, and again, it'll depend on the content, it'll depend on the program, it'll depend on the department. And I wanted to mention that too, because this particular course is part of several certificates that are part of, for instance, the Management Science and Engineering department. They have slightly higher standards for their courses and for their certificates. So it's important if you're thinking of pursuing one of those certificates, you're looking at the certificate requirements and the other courses that you're interested in taking, because those prerequisites will really be set on a course-by-course basis. But this particular one, again, is undergraduate degree, 3.0 GPA. The last thing I'll say about this course is I'm telling you how it has been run in previous quarters. The instructors, Anand and Jay-Z, are revising it. Obviously, they iterate on this course every year that they offer it. So there'll probably be some changes in how the course is run this winter quarter. So don't take what I said for, it could change. It could change a little bit. I think I had one more thing that I wanted to say in that regard. Yeah, the course is live. It'll change each quarter. And I am forgetting what the other point is. So let me take a look at some of the questions that have come up and see. So a great question about where you can take some of these courses. So in general, the online credit-bearing courses are available globally. There can be restrictions based on some countries and some states as well. So there may be some restrictions, but in general, they're open. To global learners, and that's true. Similarly true for the professional courses. Open to global learners, can be some restrictions. Some great questions. Okay, so Liz, let me hop to the next slide because I think we have. Oh, and I forgot we have a. Okay, before we get into some of these others that are about the specific programs, let's come back through and kind of give you a summary of what we talked about. So Liz, do you want to walk through at a high level again the 3 professional courses, and then I'll walk through the credit bearing again.
Sure. So so the first column, the product management program. So this is the self-paced courses, the ones where you can enroll whenever is convenient for you. So the audience is early career PMs. The pace, you can complete the assignments on your own timeline. So just whenever you enroll, you can dive into the content then and there. There's no application. You can start whenever. There's no peer-to-peer interaction. So you are just going through the materials by yourself, though there is support through the email. So the get help button within the course interface. And the pricing is $765 per course, or you can pay $2,975 for the all access plan, which gets you access to all 6 courses. So that's the 2 required courses and all 4 electives. So if you plan on pursuing the full credential anyway, the all access plan would be a better deal because you get access to more courses than you would if you paid for them individually. Next is the Product Management Accelerator Program. So this is the instructor-paced course where you go through the course with a cohort. So again, the audience is early career PMs. On the pace, so we have weekly assignments and there's a final project. There's a set start date and an end date. So there's less flexibility there. There's no application. Typically, we have programs start in the winter, summer, and fall. So the next cohort is set to start at the end of January. And then there's lots of peer-to-peer interaction. So like I said earlier, there's a group project. So you're working with a group of 3 to 4 people, 3 to 4 people within a group throughout the entire program. So you really get to know folks. And then there's opportunities to interact with other people through Slack and in the weekly coaching sessions and other live sessions. There's a lot more support in this program. So there's the email, Slack, and the coaching sessions. So we have a group of great experienced PMs who serve as coaches throughout the program, and they're widely available for office hours on Slack if you ever have any questions, and just like networking in general. And the pricing for this program is $3,995. There is an early registration discount currently going for the January cohort, and the discount pricing ends December 18th. And so right now, if you register for that course, it's available for $3,495. And then lastly, the Advanced Product Management Program. So the audience here is more mid-career PMs, so people who already have experience working as product managers. So the pace is, it's a self-paced program, so you complete the assignments on your own timeline. There's no application. You can start whenever you want. You could start after this call. There's no peer-to-peer interaction. So again, this is just you going through the course, but you do have support from the course facilitators through the email option. The pricing is $765 to $995 per course. And then currently the all access plan is $3,750, and that gets you access to all four courses in the program.
Great. And then to walk through the credit-bearing course, this is again like some of the product management course, early career PMs or people interested in learning about product management. There are weekly assignments, a final project. There's TA support. There are office hours with the instructors, weekly office hours. I think they alternate, the two instructors alternate between weeks. Again, things can change quarter to quarter. There are the weekly lectures. There's a community of fellow students who are also taking the course along with you. And then there's a Slack channel for all students who are taking credit-bearing courses that quarter. So this would include people who are not enrolled in that particular course, but are enrolled in other ones. It's an opportunity for you to share your insights, to learn what they're doing. We have, and then the price here is about a little over $4,500 for the 10-week course. That is basically Stanford tuition. It's calculated on a per unit basis. So it's $1,514 per unit. It's a 3-unit course. I see a great question about credentials. Again, you can go to the websites and we have more information there, but for the credit-bearing course, the credential is a Stanford transcript. So you would get a grade and a Stanford transcript, and you could order it just the way you have at your home university, or wherever you went to school. You can order a transcript. You'd be able to do that for Stanford and show it. Again, you're not a matriculated student. You're not pursuing a degree program, but you could build up a transcript of several credit-bearing courses. I see some great questions also about kind of comparing the content in these different programs. I don't know that we have a chart that actively compares them. That's a great suggestion. What I would recommend is you should see at the bottom of your console links to the web pages for many of these programs. You can take a look at what the course offerings are. You can click on those courses, read the descriptions, get a little bit better sense of what's offered in each of those courses. And then credit-bearing course, that has you can take a look at just the description there on the credit-bearing course and get a sense of what the different content is that's covered. Let's see here. Liz, I'm looking through some of the other.
I see a question about, there seems to be a few questions about like the experience, which program is right for me based off of my experience. If you have no product management experience, you are completely new to the field, your best options are the self-paced program, the accelerated program, or this credit-bearing course, the product management fundamentals course that's taught by Jay-Z and Anand. If you have some experience and you're unsure, just enroll in the program preview. So the program preview, I believe it highlights 3 courses, and one of the course is the transforming opportunities into products. I think that's the full name. But it'll give you a taste of the types of materials talked about, the concepts covered. And if you look at that, you're like, this is way too junior for me. I've been doing this for a long time already. Then I would consider enrolling in the advanced product management program. And you can always reach out to our team through email. There should be an option, to go to our website to find out more information. If you are interested in a particular course, the website or the webpage for each course goes into greater detail of everything that's covered. But you can always reach out to us for the syllabi for the courses so you can get a deeper look into what those courses offer.
Thanks, Liz. And there are a few questions about more details on the credit-bearing product management fundamentals for the real economy. So the lineup probably has been set, right? Again, this is a course that happens live every 10 weeks, every winter quarter. So that lineup, I think they're still finalizing what that will look like. So I walk through kind of a high level what it's typically like, right? 10 lectures happening on Thursday evenings with participation as core project. But the actual course itself is still, there's probably still work. They are still working on the syllabus for this particular offering. Great question about degrees. If you're interested in pursuing a degree, so you can. So first of all, we do offer degrees master's degrees in the School of Engineering that you can apply. You apply to the master's degree, and then you can, if you are admitted, you can elect to do that degree on a part-time basis, with the option to do some or all of that coursework online. How much of the program you can complete online is really going to depend, 1, on the degree you're pursuing, and 2, which depth area you're pursuing. So these master's degrees at Stanford often, the computer science, for instance, will have 5 or 6 depth areas that you choose from: artificial intelligence or software systems or theory, robotics, right? And you would choose one of those depth areas, and not all of them are available to online learners. and none of the master's degree, and for none of the degrees are all the courses available online. But you would have to be admitted into the program. Now, if you continue to take courses as a non-degree student, you would not be eligible to earn a degree even if you took, say, 45 units, which is the typical unit requirement for a master's degree. Right? You can continue to take courses as a non-degree student, but until you've been admitted into a degree program, you're not eligible to earn the degree. I'm looking through some other questions. I see a question about the non-instructor-led courses helping you with the application of the instructor-led courses. I don't think there's not a, I don't think they would necessarily, I don't think that would necessarily help. It would certainly help you with the course materials, but it probably wouldn't help with your application for the credit-bearing course, which really is just looking at your undergraduate transcript. There are no specific prerequisites in terms of coursework you have to have done. It's going to just look at your undergraduate transcript and that minimum GPA for this particular course. See here, Liz, are you seeing any other questions? Let me look at here. And again, you can see at the bottom of your console, you can see links out to the web pages for a lot of these programs. You can find a lot more information there. Find a lot more information on our website about the individual courses, other opportunities in terms of credit-bearing courses. I see a question about the product management fundamentals credit-bearing course. If you took that, then the next step would be, it depends on what you're interested in doing. If you did well in that course, you'd be welcome to apply to take another course. It could be in the civil environmental engineering department. It could be in management science and engineering. It could be in electrical engineering. It really depends on what you are interested in learning and what you are qualified to take. Again, assuming you've done well in that initial course that you took. I'll just answer this with a good question about career services. Right now, we don't have career services related to the specific career services. However, all these programs do offer an opportunity for you to network and meet with other students, hear about their experiences, what they're doing. So there are a lot of networking opportunities for each of these.
And just to add to Pax's comment about networking opportunities, I would say if you are interested in the networking aspect of like these product management courses, then the accelerated program, which you go through as a group and are working with like experienced PMs, or the credit bearing course where it's taught online, but with Stanford students in a classroom, brings in lots of guest speakers. Those are the best fits for that.
And then just one more question about the credit bearing. The question about, do you need to be, to take the credit bearing course, you do not need to be a current Stanford student. You do not need to be admitted. You would apply to take the course. If you were admitted and approved to take the course, you would be a non-degree student. So you don't need to be a Stanford student. It's available to any qualified professional, any qualified professional, really globally, again, with some restrictions. So you would apply through submit the non-degree application, enroll in a course, and it would be reviewed on a course-by-course basis.
So there's a question about like the online aspect, recorded versus live sessions. I'm not sure which course you're talking about in particular, but I believe all these offerings have the option to either. Actually, let me step back. So the professional education programs they're all recorded lectures. The accelerated program is the only one with live sessions, and those also are recorded. So if you're not able to attend live, you can always watch the recording afterwards. The credit-bearing course, I'll let Pax speak. I think Pax already talked about it, but the lectures are all live, but they are also recorded if you're not able to attend live.
Yeah, and I'll just add that one thing to mention with the live sessions for credit-bearing courses is the ability to join live and ask questions in a lecture class is not, it varies by the credit-bearing course you're taking. Some of these are giant 800-person lecture classes, and so though you can watch the lecture, live stream the lecture and watch it live, there may not be an opportunity to ask questions real time, right? They're huge lecture courses, and so they don't integrate kind of real time back and forth communication with I mean, they're in-person students, let alone their online students. For product management fundamentals for the real economy, this particular course, again, if it's consistent with how it's been done in the past, the lectures are being broadcast over Zoom while also being recorded so that you can ask questions, participate, join real time. And that's encouraged in that particular class. It can vary a lot course to course. And so again, there are 200 classes. That means there are probably 200 faculty who are teaching these classes, and each one adjusts it. But for all of them, right, the lectures will be live streamed and recorded, and not all of them will have the live participation. They'll all have some kind of online office hours, usually held over Zoom at some different, when those office hours are, we're going to vary course to course, quarter to quarter. And then there's usually some kind of discussion board. Slack Ed is the forum that is used for a lot of these courses where you post questions, where TAs answer questions, and then you'd be submitting homeworks online, just like all the on-campus students, right? The homeworks would be released, you'd take them, you'd submit them. The last thing I'll add, I don't believe it applies to product management fundamentals, is if a course has exams, there is a special process for exams. You do need to take an exam in person. You obviously don't need to come to Stanford to take that exam, but you would need to make arrangements to take the exam wherever you are, through a testing center or through someone you work with, or a library or something like that. So if there's a in-person exam for the course, you would need to make arrangements to take that in person wherever you are, obviously with some flexibility on when you take it. If it's, we're not going to ask you to take it at 1 a.m. if that's when it's happening on campus. You can find a lot more details about that experience either in the info sessions on credit-bearing courses, which we do about twice a year. We'll have one this spring. You can find recordings of it on the YouTube channel, or just going to our site and reading about our policies and experiences.
So we had a question about industry focus for the product management courses. So generally, no, they cover a wide range of different industries, but there tend to be more software examples within the professional education courses than hardware examples, if that's something you have questions about.
And great question about access to the course materials. So the access to course materials, and for all these offerings, do end, right? And it'll depend on the particular offering. So if the credit-bearing course, the access to the lecture materials, generally, the lecture recordings will generally end at the end of the quarter. This is true for on-campus students as well as true for everyone. It has to do with a lot of things related to copyright, and also because, also privacy information for students who may be presenting in those courses, et cetera. So they do end at the end of the quarter. You wouldn't have access to the lecture recordings after that. And I believe for the product management courses, it's depending on how you're pursuing it, whether it's a course by course or all access plan. But if you're pursuing the program and you're kind of doing the whole program at once, I believe you usually have access for a year. Is that correct, Liz?
Yes. So all access plan is for a year. If you purchase things individually, it's 60 days. The accelerated program, I should have mentioned this. So like I said, the lectures all come from the 6 courses, but you get access to all the lectures that are in those 6 courses, and you have access to everything in that course console for a full year. So even after the 10 weeks, you can go back and revisit, the materials.
We still have a few questions. I think one more that is just this question about taking advantage as an online student. How do you take advantage of the community both during and after? So we do try in all these programs, all the programs where there's a live or cohort model, we do try to have opportunities for you to connect with your peers. So you have the coaching sessions and the live sessions, as Liz said, in the accelerated, and the credit-bearing course, right? We have a Slack channel for all students who are involved in the credit-bearing course that quarter who are online professional students. if you choose to join that Slack. You have to choose to join that Slack channel. But a lot of it does, we do our best, but a lot of it does depend on you and how engaged you are. And, we encourage you, to engage as much as you can. If you're taking a credit-bearing course, I know one thing we hear from faculty is often the professional students who are, just doing it course by course, they're often very engaged on those discussion forums, posting a lot, asking questions, answering questions, because that tends to be a way that they can really get involved, whereas an on-campus student might, can be in the classroom and sort of turn to someone on the side. And so that's a great opportunity. It's also a great way for faculty to see you, especially in those really big courses, right? That's not true in the product management, which is not an 800-person course, would probably be about 100 students this quarter. But yeah. I see some questions about AI and product management in the medical field. And I would encourage you to take a look at the offerings. We do have product management and generative AI. I believe that's a course we have, correct? Is that right?
Yeah,
and that's the product management course or program?
Yeah. So in the advanced product management course, there's mastering generative AI for product innovation. So that's a course focuses on, like how to use AI as in your day-to-day as a PM, but also how to build generative AI products. I'd say there have been some questions about asking about specific industries. So in general, these courses are all taught to be cover product management as a field very broadly, right? There's definitely specific types of PMs. You have data PMs, health PMs, et cetera. These programs are not geared towards those specific industries. So it's just broadly about the concepts of product management to help you in. So I would say they may use specific examples. For instance, may point to some things about Airbnb and some exercises. But if you're hoping for something more niche, like product management for healthcare, these courses are not the right fit for that.
Though, Liz, I would add that we do have a digital health product development course that you can find on Stanford Online that you may be interested in. So the Stanford Center for Health Education does have a few courses around product in digital health innovation. So I would definitely take a look at those offerings. Again, spend some time. If this is interesting to you, but maybe it doesn't sound like, oh, this is not quite the right content for me, I'd go to our website, Stanford Online, take a look at our catalog and explore, because there are a lot of offerings there that you can take on a variety of different topics. And so I really encourage you to go there and to get a sense of the full breadth of offerings. I know it can be overwhelming because there's a lot there with different formats and different content, but it's really worth spending some time. I think in terms of the pricing, questions about pricing. So for the credit-bearing courses, there's not much flexibility there, just because that is tuition. We have to follow kind of university standard practices. So we need that tuition, by the beginning of the quarter before the course starts. For the other courses, the product management courses, on each of the course and program pages, I would take a look at the options. They can vary a little bit depending on the program, but at the very least, you can sort of do it on a course by course. You can do an all access plan. For the product management accelerated, as Liz says there is an early registration discount right now, which will end on December 18th. So you can take a look at what those different pricing options are on the programs, and it can vary from program to program.
There was a question about the profiles of people in these different courses. So I can speak to what the community in the product management accelerated program looks like. So there's a wide range of industries represented, a lot of people in tech, but also, healthcare, fintech, even I think there's someone in mining, gaming, etc. Age ranges, so everyone is 18 and over. I'd say the age range is it's pretty broad. I would say the program is really geared towards people early in their careers as PMs. So you have that type of audience, but you also have people who are maybe more established in their careers as software engineers or something who are interested in pivoting to product management or learning more about the product management like frameworks to help them with their own work. And I would say for the most part, most people have bachelors. Oftentimes people may have like a master's or another graduate degree as well.
Great, and I think we're just about at time, and seeing if there are maybe a couple other, and we got a lot of questions. We won't get to, I think we've addressed most of these. Let's see here. Again, if you're interested in learning more about these programs, I encourage you, there are links at the bottom of the console. Click on those links. It'll take you to pages that give more in-depth details about each of these programs. And just to jump back to that very first slide, the very first kind of content slide we showed, there is also a lot of free content that's available out there. So you can, again, the program preview for the Product Management Professional program, take a look at that. Highly encourage you to enroll in that. Even if you're like, yes, I'm going to go enroll in this program, go ahead and enroll that first, just to get a sense of what that particular program is like. We do have lots of recorded webinars that you can find on our website or on the Stanford Online YouTube channel. A lot of these are with some of the instructors who teach in all these programs, including the academic programs. So, I encourage you to take a look at those and just get a sense for the content, get a sense for the instructors, and get a sense for learning, finding out what you're interested in. There are a lot of resources there. And then let's see here. Maybe I'm trying to think if there are any others. We do have some other webinars coming up. So on different issues, I'm doing one on the modern internet with a computer science professor. So you should take a look at our events as well that are on our homepage and see what upcoming live webinars you can join, like this one, if you have other questions or other interests. I think there's time for one last question here, and I see it's about choosing the capstone project. So I can speak a little bit to the product management fundamentals for the real economy, the credit-bearing program ones. There is an opportunity, I think, to choose what your there's some constraints on it, but I think there is a opportunity to choose what you work on. However, you do usually do that as part of a team, so you probably need to reach a consensus with your team members. Liz, I don't know if you have anything on the other programs and the accelerated.
Yeah, so for the accelerated program is the only one with the capstone. So similarly, like we give people a few different prompts to choose from, but you can also come up with your own prompt. But you're working with a group, so it's something you have to decide as a team. So you as an individual, you can't just decide to do X, Y, and Z just because you want to. You would need to get buy-in from the rest of your group.
Well, thank you all for your time. We really appreciate it and your wonderful questions. Again, encourage you to explore this more. And I think with that, we'll end the webinar. Liz, anything else you want to say?
Nothing else for me. So thank you, everyone. I hope we did our best to get to everybody's questions. But yeah, if you think of anything else, you can always reach out to our team at Stanford Online. Happy to answer any questions you have.
Thanks, everybody.